The U.S. Air Force has a long-standing tradition of asking itself every decade, is it time to retire the A-10? And each time it turns out that replacing it's far more difficult than it seems. Because the A-10 isn't just an airplane. It's a unique closed air support CAS platform whose strength lies not in speed or stealth, but in survivability, firepower, and close integration with infantry on the ground. However, today with drones, satellite reconnaissance, and next-generation enemy IRSD, infrared search and track systems dominating the battlefield, the question of replacing the A-10 is more pressing than ever. So, is it even necessary to create a direct successor to the legendary Warthog? Or is the very concept of a specialized attack aircraft hopelessly outdated? We'll try to answer this question in today's video. Beyond the beloved memes about the legendary, the A-10 Thunderbolt II, born at the height of the Cold War, was loved for its straightforwardness. This attack aircraft would instantly appear on the battlefield at the infantry's first call and hover in the air, disintegrating any enemy armored vehicle. And most importantly, it didn't even try to fly away after the first hit. The Warthog has become an ideal tool in low and medium intensity conflicts. Iraq, Afghanistan, operations against ISIS, and local wars with limited air defenses. But it was precisely these advantages of the attack aircraft that now became its main weaknesses. After all, the A-10 is a child of an era when you were shot at by rare anti-aircraft guns, single-man portable air defense systems, man-pads, or a loose air defense battery. Today, even the world's less wealthy armies are building a layer defense using cheap short-range radars, electro-optics, thermal imaging, electronic warfare systems, man-pads, mobile fire teams, and network targeting. In such conditions, the aircraft, which for decades won by flying low and hovering over the battlefield, becomes an easy target for the enemy. To effectively support troops, it needs to be close, but the closer it gets, the higher the risk of being hit. Thus, the question of replacing the A-10 has moved beyond heated debates about the age of the aircraft, moving into the realm of the transformation of war itself over the past 20 years. Formally, the role of the main CAS aircraft is currently assigned to the Lockheed Martin F-35 Lightning II Block 4 modification, which has received expanded capabilities for working with ground targets. But even this ambitious fighter faces several problems. Price and resource. The CAS mission requires frequent routine sorties and many flight hours, which in the case of an expensive platform like the F-35 will hit American taxpayers hard. Application concept. The fighter is optimized for stealthy penetration, precision strikes, and rapid escape from the kill zone, which is diametrically opposed to the philosophy of a slow and heavy cease attack aircraft. Vulnerability when operating at low altitudes. The F-35 stealth simply becomes meaningless in the near-infrared and optical ranges where modern enemy man-pads and Earth systems operate. Therefore, the Lightning II is definitely not destined to become the new A-10, even despite its potential to be the most high-tech solution to some CAS missions in modern warfare. By choosing the F-35, the Air Force will inevitably face a number of painful compromises in functionality and cost. If the F-35 can play the role of a network-centric CAS, then the Armed Overwatch program and its centerpiece, the Air Tractor L3 Harris OA-1K Skyrig II, also known as the A-2U Skywarden, is an honest admission that even in near-futuristic warfare, the Air Force needs a cheap, durable reconnaissance and strike aircraft. It was developed from the Air Tractor A-2, an American single-engine fixed-wing aircraft used in agriculture and firefighting. It's been heavily modified, or put more accurately, militarized to perform light strikes and armed ISR, intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance. Like the A-10, its fuel lines and tank are self-sealing and have an emergency fuel release system. The aircraft itself can take off and land on even the most uneven and unprepared runways. But the OA-1K is significantly inferior to the A-10 in terms of combat loadout, offering only 6,000 pounds of ordnance compared to the A-10 16,000, where the latter could unleash a salvo of iron at the enemy and its vehicles. The Skywarden relies on targeting and reconnaissance sensors using precision weapons like GBU-12 Peiwei-2 bombs, as well as AGM-114 Hellfire and AGR-20 APKWS missiles. This would make Skywarden a good response to Afghanistan-like scenarios, but still not up to the intensity of European theaters of operations, or even more so, Pacific battles saturated with enemy anti-access/area denial A-2 assets. Where the A-10's replacement really appears to be starting is in the loyal wingman attack drone category, which the Air Force is betting heavily on. We're talking about collaborative combat aircraft, or CCA. Combat UAVs that can operate in tandem with manned American fighters, including aircraft from the Next Generation Air Dominance Program and the new B-21 Raider strategic stealth bombers. The list of candidates for the CCA title includes KTO's XQ-58 Valkyrie, a stealth UAV developed for the United States Air Force's program low-cost attributable strike demonstrator CAS to accomplish tasks such as scouting, defensive fire, or absorbing enemy fire. Boeing MQ-28 Ghostbat, a loyal wingman for reconnaissance, electronic warfare, and strike missions in conjunction with manned fighters. Recently, the Ghostbat demonstrated a successful live fire of an AIM-1 20 AMRAAM missile destroying a Phoenix target UAV. And YFQ-44 Fury, a versatile and most importantly inexpensive partner drone, ready to take on some of the tasks of future NGAD fighters and the existing fleet of U.S. Air Force combat aircraft. Gambit family from General Atomics, offering 6 platforms configured for ISR missions. Air combat, fighter training, and carrier-based operations. All of this is supported by a single Gambit core-based design, which delivers cost savings and accelerates the development of new variants. The key idea behind CCA is to distribute functions that were previously performed by a single aircraft. While the A-10 was a monolithic platform that integrated sensors, weapons, armor, and pilot, CCA proposes a replacement in the form of a modular CS architecture. Instead of one expensive device, there's a whole swarm of cheap specialized drones working as a single unit. Among the main advantages of UAVs, scalability, flexibility, high survivability due to mass production, the possibility of saturating the battlefield with sensors and weapons. In this scenario, the F-35 and future 6th generation fighters become the brains of the mission, and the drone swarm becomes their strike force, which truly feels like a fundamental shift in CS missions once performed by a single Warthog to a distributed combat system. The rapid development of loitering ammunition deserves special attention from the light switchable 600 to the heavier Hero and U-Vision families. Moreover, Switchblade, according to the Pentagon, became the first publicly confirmed procurement under the Replicator Initiative, which is aimed at the rapid deployment of large volumes of autonomous systems. Let's not forget Anduril's Altius Agile Launch Tactically Integrated Unmanned System family, a series of fixed-wing tunnel-launch UAVs with 4-hour endurance that can fly up to 280 miles. Additionally, like its previously listed counterparts, Altius can be launched from a variety of launchers, including C-130 aircraft, UH-60 Blackhawk helicopters, various ground vehicles, and even the more massive MQ-1C Grey Eagle and KTO's XQ-58 Valkyrie drones. Moreover, in the event of target or mission cancellation, Altius can be returned in flight using Flare's Flying Air Recovery System. In effect, loitering munitions make CAS a form of flying artillery available today at the battalion or even company level. So in the foreseeable future, they may take on a significant portion of the tasks that were previously assigned to attack aircraft. The bottom line is that the A-10 2.0 simply doesn't exist, not even on paper, because the concept of a dedicated attack aircraft is increasingly out of sync with the vision and logic of modern warfare. But the legendary Warthog isn't riding off into the sunset because he's inadequate. He's riding off because war won't let him remain who he was. The future CS no longer fits within a single core. It now encompasses a web of satellites, reconnaissance drones, attack UAVs, multi-role fighters, command and control systems, and loitering munitions. On the one hand, it's always sad to say goodbye to devices like the A-10. On the other hand, just think about how many tasks it can handle simultaneously in its prime. The Warthog truly became the last and also the most iconic attack aircraft of the classic era. A symbol of a time when victory on the battlefield was decided not by algorithms, satellites, and drones, but by a good old armored bathtub with a huge cannon and a pilot bravely flying straight into enemy fire. Now it's your turn to tell us which aircraft, in your opinion, could become a worthy successor to the A-10 Warthog, and whether such a thing even exists. And if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell for more content like today's. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.